Welcome to the next video in the series from the EmDetect Edimod series, where we're going to demonstrate a particular experiment you can do with the Edimod, with the scintillators and the control box. Now you'll see I have also connected not only the laptop, but also an oscilloscope, which allows us to actually see the detection of the muons, and you can see it by the occasional spikes in both channels. Now in this case, with the two scintillators situated on top of each other, we are detecting individual muon events. But generally, muons come in bunches. In other words, they come as part of a shower. And, well, how large is that shower? How could we solve that particular problem? Well, it's very simple. Because it relies on the simultaneous events of the two scintillators, if we spread our two scintillator plates out and we get a bunch of muons, as long as we have two muons striking both plates at the same time, in other words, it is simultaneous, we will have an occurrence of data that we can collect. And so that's what you do. You separate your plates out by a small distance, and in this case, it's roughly 20 centimeters. And then what you do is you let it run. Now in this case, because of the fact that we are now measuring bunches, the likelihood being significantly less than individual ones, you're going to have to let it run for about an hour at the bare minimum to actually get a suitable amount of data to collect. Now, you would then repeat the experiment by separating your two scintillator plates by a further distance. So you may want to increase it, let's say, every 25 centimeters or so, and again, repeat the experiment. However, unlike the previous experiments where we consistently, let's say, measured for a half an hour or so, because the likelihood of these events gets smaller and smaller as we separate the plates out, the amount of time that you need to collect the data for increases quite significantly. So you may start off with an hour with the plates separated at this distance, but by the time you get to a meter or so, you may need to let it run for maybe 4 or 5 hours. And if your space allows, because the cables here are 1 meter in length each, you could realistically do 2 meters if you wish, but you may need to let it run overnight. Now, the best advice is that you, as an educator, would do that yourself and then collect the data and then bring that to your students to analyze the data so that you can help to improve their data analysis skills. My name is Paul. Take care. Bye for now.